It doesn't matter.
Undo requested.
It doesn't matter. It's more flexibility. It doesn't really matter. It actually makes very little difference. It makes very little difference. All right, we are. Yeah, we definitely got this teaching game review thing going. And I'm just gonna do this. Then we're going to move the, hang on, let me play first. We're going to actually move the pop-up chat, pop-out chat here. And yeah, gonna minimize this a little bit, minimize that, minimize this. I have a lot of Photoshop stuff up, guys. And then we're going to do this, yes. The way I do, yes, the way I do, so the way I do handicap is different from the traditional. I basically just pass a couple times, and then you can take handicap however you want. I think it's more flexible for. I actually do think it's way more flexible for. It's way more flexible for my opponent that way, because some people will take. Some people will opt to take handicap one way, and other people will take handicap another way. So it really depends on really what you want. If he Ataris, I'm actually going to try to do this and then just go with a double, because I do believe that this is slightly better. Yeah, he has Tiger's Mouth both ways, but I'm not too worried about that. If he Tiger's Mouth, I'll just go on the bottom. This is actually damaging for him. I don't think this is a great move. I'm going to have to review with the AI later on, because I do give him the corner, but doing this, I do believe it could be beneficial to me. I don't know how to read this right now, if it's like good for him or bad for him, because if I have to connect, I wouldn't actually play that move. But giving up the corner is definitely yeah, giving up the corner is definitely kind of a move that I'm a little bit hesitant on. But getting this might actually be worth it, although he does come out on both sides. I'll have to see if that's actually worth it with Kata Go. Because I don't want to give him the corner here. But this actually might be fine. I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna play the same way on this side. I think I can play it this way. I don't like. I really don't like being like one. I honestly really don't like being one lower though. This time I'm gonna go here. There's limited expansion potential this way because of this. But this might not have been good. I want to see how the points thing work for this. Because I've never actually done that before. Definitely not that. Should go down this way. I think he would just expand this way. So, I don't know how powerful this wall is over here. Honestly. I'm gonna have to let him expand his wall over here too. I'm definitely gonna take that and go down here. I just want to make sure I'm alive. If he doesn't fix this, there could be problems later. That's actually the right move here. I think coming across here would probably be the best play, just to ensure safety for my group and to make sure to counter his Moyo a little bit. There is this weakness, but I'm not too overly concerned about that. That's a bad move. This doesn't get him much, and it basically strengthens me a lot. He might take that there, and there's a bit of but like if you do this, it opens up for this, but I'm actually going to expand this way to cut off his influence that way. That's really not a thing. I'm just going to go ahead and do this, but it's not really a thing. It does take away this move, however. And there's not much over here. So maybe later, but not right now. Here, I think I'm going to cut just to see what he does for the most part. It's kind of what I thought he would do. Oh, he's just going to give me this. Okay, that's fine. That's actually okay. That move, I think I'm going to ignore for right now. There is potential for some trouble in here, but I don't think that's big enough right now for me to actually consider. I'm going to peep here, just to throw an extra stone in there. That is correct. I can come here. Well, if he has to waste this move later, then it's not good for him. I can't invade here anymore because he has that, but I can possibly do this and then maybe invade like here. I don't know if this is a good move. I don't really want to do it right now. Yeah, why not? We'll give this a shot. That's not a move that you would do right now. It's actually one that you might do later on. If you were white. No, definitely not a move that you... Because you can't jump here. You can only kind of extend here. Okay. That could actually put that group in danger. Whatever, I'll risk it. Oh, he's actually giving me the upper. Okay, that's fine. He's just going to give me the upper. It's perfectly fine. So that's a lot of territory he's succeeding. I have the option to do this. That's not a good move. There's just not much territory in here, and you've basically given me a free pass on this. I mean, trading this for all this territory down here, definitely not a good move for him. This does have the double Atari over here. I can take. He can take. Should I just Atari this? And go with that instead. I think I will. This is kind of risky for me, though. Okay, I probably made a mistake on that one. I can just connect, which is, I think, what I'm going to do. There's a reason I connected instead of Hane this. Okay, so this is a very risky endeavor for me to do, because now that this group might actually be in danger, I think I'm just going to come in this way. Just jump. I don't think that's a good move. It's kind of hard for him to kill me, I think, either way. Because I can always do this later on. And these two stones aren't worth all that much. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I'm probably just going to do this later. I don't know how great of an invasion this was, actually. Probably not that great. Now that I look at it. Okay, so we're definitely doing this first. I just make sure that this group is alive. You can't attack it anymore. Overall, that might have not been a great invasion. I don't think he wants to do that. Because I can give up these stones. They're not worth all that many points right now. Here's the thing about sacrificing stones. Like, they're... You can always take those, and yeah, he got some points there, but I don't know, like... I really don't know if he's going to be happy with just these stones. He did get a lot of points here, though. I will say that. That might have been not a great invasion for me. Because he didn't kill anything. Okay. It's probably what I would have done, too. He has to answer that. I'm going to make sure that I'm really, really tempted to do this. Or something like this. Because this he can Hane downward. If I do this, come over here in the corner first, and then do that, he might have a little bit... No, he won't, actually. I'm almost just leaning forwards towards doing this. I can't hop one. If I hop two... Yeah, it's still no good. Just gonna do this. I think this becomes Sente. It should become Sente though, even if it's like, yeah. And then you just jump out like this because I don't think yeah, but the thing is he actually got like 8 points, like 15 points here, so that might not have been a successful invasion. And I still might not be ahead right now is the problem. That I don't think is a big problem for me. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Then do this. He's very, very thick over here, so it does bring me a bit of a problem of if he separates the two groups, that is kind of problematic for me. So I do need to connect these two groups. That's not really an issue for me anymore. And he needs to watch out for certain things. He's fixing one right now, I see. Yeah, I have to do this. That wasn't the greatest invasion. I think I lost too many points over here. Because that's already 8, and that's 14, plus like whatever points he destroyed in here. So that wasn't really worth it. I mean, I don't really have to answer this all that much. I have to do that, I guess. This is actually pretty problematic for me. But not extremely problematic, I don't think. First of all, I can just do this. If I do that,
Yomi.
he does that. I'm pretty sure this will work. Will it? Ooh, it's a tough one. This may not work as I had hoped.
10.
This could be really problematic for me. Even if it does work, it's kind of problematic. So I might have to give up the other side. Yeah, I would have to give up the other side. I'm alive, but there's definitely problems in here. What? Why would you do that? Shoot. Yeah. I think that was a good move. I mean, I can't kill him, and this is a pretty big loss for me. Not sure why you would want to do that. I think he's still winning by quite a bit, though, is the thing. There's just too many points here. I don't know if I can counter it. He might just have killed himself. Because he needed an extra move there, I think. I think he's dead. Oh, no, he's not. He can just come over there. Darn. I suppose I can get rid of any territory over here, though. Oh, well, I forgot about that. Totally forgot about that.
Nine. 8.
Yeah, whatever. Making sure there's no shenanigans, I guess. At least I got rid of all the points in there. Yeah, I think I gave him too many points here. Like, white doesn't really have any points. So this is like highly problematic for me. I'm not going to answer that. I think this is a bit of a mistake on his side, definitely. I can just connect here. Remember, folks, this is dead. I just took that. I have enough. I don't know if I have enough to win. I can fight the Ko with him, or I can just let him live. One of those two. If I fight the Ko with him, I risk
10,
losing this corner.
9. 8.
Do I have any
7,
Ko threats?
6.
I don't think
5,
I have enough Ko
4,
threats. So therefore,
3.
I'm just going to live this corner. So that's a big win for white, obviously. Trading whatever is down here for these 15 points or so. That actually might have given me the win. That realistically might have actually given me the win on this game. So I did get about a solid 15, 16 points here. I did lose a little bit here, but it's not much. But this game, still very close. Let's see. Seki. Might as well just block. Whatever. Probably should have done this first. But whatever. Can't go here because that's bad. I have to connect this later.
Ten.
It's a good move, actually. Oh, crap. It's actually Sente for him. Messed that up. He kind of messed that up because this is now Sente for me. Yeah, I think this invasion here was really bad by me. That was definitely not worth it. This is a big mistake by him here. Definitely, I made mistakes in the center. I should have probably ran the pieces a lot sooner. Okay, this isn't actually anything. Is there any other points here? Probably not. Go here. I think I'm ahead by a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'm ahead by a little bit, even without the Comey. But this was definitely the game here. And this is more of just a judgment of what's bigger or not. More than 20? Yeah, I'm not really. You're probably right. I'm not really counting. I'm actually not really counting. This is kind of useless because as long as I have this in here, you can't do anything. As long as this is alive, it really doesn't matter. And I think that actually helped me build a point. I actually do think it helps me build a point. Um, because now I can actually safely do this. But the thing is, I do actually think I was behind before I did this, before I cooked that. But it might have been pretty close even before. I'm just looking at the board and seeing that he has this big corner, and I don't have anything quite that big. Like with the Comey, it actually might be more than 20. I'm just not sure. I didn't really count though. I know I'm ahead right now. I just haven't really counted by how much. There's two more points in here. There's one there and there's one here. Should be by about 10 or 15, I think. I don't know. Like just on the board, it should be about 10 or 15, I guess. Oh yeah, there's this here. Thought it was without Comey. I mean, the way I do handicap, there's always going to be a Comey. Even if it's a handicap game, it's always like because I start out as an even game more like I basically start out as an even game. For me, I essentially just start out as an even game. And then I essentially start out as an even game and then basically I just let them take I don't want to fight this actually. This half point's not going to matter, so I'm not going to fight this. There's one more right there. I think I can just pass.
Pass.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Pass. Remove the dead stones.
You're right. It's 24. It's 24 points with Comey, so about 18 points without Comey. I've actually might have won even without that.
You have won.
I probably did win without that. I just didn't count right. So like that's actually one of my like when I'm playing an even game, I would count better because if I think I'm actually ahead, I won't take risks. But if I don't think I'm ahead, I'm actually going to take risks. So basically, this game starts out as handicap 2, black 12.7. So I do this. Generally, like the second one, you don't take. You just do something like this. Because an extra move on the corner is going to be worth a little bit more than this thing up here. If you do this, I'm just going to ignore you again and come here. If you come down here, I'm just going to take this stone. So yes, you are getting thickness here, and you might if you take these two stones, then I'm just going to be like whatever, and you would technically I think do this, and then if you take these two stones, I would just play again, right? So obviously, like this number 9 here, this would be a bad move because this isn't worth very much, and you're just losing more points out here. You're giving me another move out here, which is worth more than this. So if you don't do this, this is maybe an even trade, slightly favoring white. These two stones for these two stones. But if you take another move to kill the two, then it's white's advantage because those two stones aren't worth as much. So That's why in general, I don't suggest the second move over top. White's always going to answer your first move, and then you just kind of move somewhere else. This is supposed to be black sente. That's how that Joseki is supposed to work. I actually don't know if that's good or not. Probably not. Oh yeah, that's definitely not right. So what would you do instead? Just connect? You might just be better off connecting. If I do this, you can cut. And then I wouldn't want to do I really wouldn't want to do that, I don't think. Yeah, I think this would be very bad for white. So you might just want to connect when I Atari, because if you do this, I guess I could do this, I just didn't. But also, like, that's always I mean, it's kind of complicated if it comes out that way, but I think the best thing for me to do was like Tiger's Mouth. But I actually lost I actually lost about 6 points in this exchange. So I was, this move shouldn't be done if you're white. I think for white, you just play here for the most part. I think you just play here for white. So I thought this was an okay exchange, but after I look at it, yeah, it's not very good for white. Like, black's corner is too big, and this shape is not very strong. So I did make a big mistake there. I increased his lead. I feel like here I should have just taken this at this point. But I wanted another move on the corner. This is generally not a very good trade for white overall. But I thought this was okay because I was destroying this side, and the potential over here is somewhat limited because I have this shape. I actually don't know how to fix this. I think this is probably better. This is probably way better because then you don't have this little cut in here, and I wouldn't have had that problem later. That I'm just going to extend out. Just to make sure I'm alive. There is a cutting point here later, so you do have to watch out for that. Right now, yeah, I probably wouldn't play this either. That's most likely the correct move. I'm going to go over top because I want to reduce the possibility of this Moyo. That's a really bad move. Letting me do this both ways. This solidifies this shape a lot more. And I do think like this move is not as big as this move generally. Because you don't really have, the thing is, I look at it like you don't have too much potential over here for Moyo expansion. If you do this, you still have like this wall here to get some more points. So to me, exchanging this for this is a slight advantage for white. I probably shouldn't have pushed that. I know I shouldn't have pushed that. I think I should have just gone ahead and done this. Like, giving you this territory isn't that bad. And then done something else. Because like this shape is so much more solidified, and it came back to bite me later. So I should have done that. Yeah, doing this wasn't very good. This actually does favor black. Because I did get these points down here, but there's a lot of solid territory over here. There's a lot of solid potential over here. Like, this would be Sente, I think. Not really. And then, like, you know, things like this would actually be Sente as well as this. Right? And you can see how, like, this would just come together in terms of, like, making territory over here. So if I was black, I would have gone ahead and done something like this. The potential is a lot more threatening. I'm going to get some territory somewhere along these lines. This is kind of a wasted move right now. Yes, it lets you extend in the corner, but it's not big enough right now. Peep, that's fine. That's not a good move right now because it's just creating another weak group. Yes, there is a weak group for black, but you have this over here. So right now, like, this is not a good, this may not be the best thing for white. So actually connecting is a bad move. I suppose, like, if he doesn't want you to connect, I suppose he wants you to do this. But then this would be just as bad. I don't really understand the computer's logic here. So he doesn't want you to connect. But I mean, the only other option to to not connect is to do this. I don't really know if I really like this, but anyways, black does connect, white extends out. So the thing is, like, if you do this, and then you connect, is it better? I don't think it's better. Because at some point, you're going to have to connect. I guess this would be okay, too. But then, you know, you kind of have problems this way. And you can't really fix anything. I don't understand what the AI is like trying to get you to do. At the SDK level, though, at the SDK level, I would actually emphasize this connection. I mean, I would actually like emphasize that you actually should connect here, because it gets really complicated if you don't connect. Like I said, the only other viable move I think which the AI wants you to do is probably this right now. But I don't really see that being a great move. At least not at my level. I mean, I know that's the move to do, but white doing this is really problematic for black. So I would actually just suggest you connect, even though it is a point loser. Here I made a mistake. This group's actually not under threat, so I probably should have just like jumped out or something. That's definitely not good for, that's actually definitely not good for black. You're giving up way too much. I know what black's trying to do. You're trying to build influence on top, but these three are kind of hard to, attack. And you're giving up so much on the bottom. So here, I think you're probably better served just by cutting and then moving up here. Or like by cutting and then just dividing my two groups, because both these groups are actually weak. You have one weak group. I have two. And I don't know if I can actually cut any of these. Yeah, you can give up those, but trading, let's just say like trading these two for these two, that's a big black win. That is a win for black if you trade that for that. So I think I think you should actually cut here. Let me extend this way and then attack. These two stones are sacrificable if you can get this side, and also even if you don't sacrifice them, I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of I am gonna have a lot of problems with this, even if you don't sacrifice them. Like you could go here, and now I still have like two very weak groups. So you should actually definitely cut this one instead of going up top. Giving me the bottom territory is too much to give up, and it's very hard to attack these three, like as we found out. Coming up here, like, I obviously still have this move. Connecting would be the best move. Because connecting, you actually have a hard push. And the thing is, like, I would probably do something like this and hope to come out this way. That's most likely what I would do. This is the wrong move. This and this are both wrong moves because it gives me Sente. So here the thing is, like, there's not any territory down here for you to gain. So the priority is for you to actually keep Sente and keep on attacking this group. Doing this basically doing this makes me really strong, and it makes it really hard for you to surround the outside. So right now, that's a big loss for black. So in this kind of situation, you want to just connect. Because then white has to, if white connects, you can just do this. You want to keep attacking white from the outside. And you don't want to give him you don't want to strengthen his shape against your stone, and you don't want to do this because it gives him a Sente connection. So that's the wrong move. Obviously, this honestly just makes it worse. Because now my group isn't weak at all. There's really no way you can attack it. Doing that, you know what? I think I should have just jumped or something. Because, I mean, yeah, you can take a bunch of stones, but you're not going to be able to... It's going to be really hard for... it's actually going to be really hard for, like, black to kill white. Because even if you do this, I connect, you can't just go ahead and attack me because I have this down here. If you connect, then these three are dead. So it's hard for you to attack me down there. I feel like I made a mistake here. I made a mistake here connecting this. I really want to be out ahead. So I either do this or I do something like this. But this would actually run into trouble. This could possibly run into trouble with this. Well, no, actually I can just do that. But I guess this could run into a bit of trouble. Like white would have to take these, and then black can actually connect. So I feel like I did make a mistake. I definitely made a mistake there with a connection. I got too obsessed with these stones in here and trying to save them, but the connect was a bad move for sure. That probably was not the best move, but I'm not exactly what sure. Yeah, that was fine. Then I'm gonna come up here. He's gonna do this. Atari down. This might not be the best to Atari. I could have probably done something like that, or yeah, this is probably better. Because he can't really, like, unless you do this, you really can't attack me here. And if you do this, I can come out here, and now I'm threatening these two. And the thing is that you still can't kill white here, because if he does that, you have to go down here, and then he's still alive. So there's a lot of extra stuff here going on that I didn't really take into consideration. So this was a bad Atari. I'm going to do this first, make sure it's alive. Go over here. I don't really like this that much because it takes away things like this, but I don't think there's two eyes down here, which is why I just went over top. So once again, this is not a good push because these two stones and these two stones are very sacrificable. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Connect that. You don't, that's just an extra stone wasted to take that. I think you're way better if you want to attack. Something doing something like this is way better if you actually want to attack. I don't have any eyes right now. I don't think you can actually kill me. But what you should do, what you should actually try to do in this particular situation is you should try to attack this group where it strengthens your shape over here. And then after you finish attacking this group, you should attack this group. So you have two groups to potentially attack here, once again. Taking this and then that you probably just shouldn't answer. You should definitely do this. Yes, these three are big, but like attacking these two groups simultaneously is way more important. I don't actually know why I did this. And if you're gonna fix this is the better move. Because it threatens this pull out. Nudging me here doesn't do anything. You don't threaten my group. I totally brain farted. I should have just done this. And also, like, this does take away a lot of my options down here. So that's why this was, even though this was a territory capture, it's generally a bad move. That's fine, actually. You might just be better off doing this. Because if I take this, then you can cut this. And I feel like, I don't know, you're probably a little bit closer to killing one of these groups. It's not a big deal, though. But this actually makes my job a little easier. I should have just kept on going. I definitely should have just kept on going. You're not actually alive here. So if I kind of like do something like this, if I do this, and you attempt to kill me, if I come on top here, and you cut, you're still kind of in trouble here. So black actually has to watch out for that. Although both black and white have a lot of liberties to fight with here. But I think white wins that one. So I do that. Come up top. I definitely should have done one more before doing that. This is good. Yeah, that's not good. I think I should do that. This would bring a lot of problems for black. If you don't, if he connects here, I can do push. I don't actually know. Because at this point, if you do this, I'm just going to kill this. I suppose, like... that wouldn't work, though. You can just go all the way down. Oh, I see what's going on, actually. I would connect here. You can try to kill this right now, but like remember this group here, both this group here and this group down here aren't actually alive. So you would actually have to do something like this, and this would be alive anyways. So that's the way I should have played. Like I didn't recognize that I didn't actually recognize that this group down here and this group up here weren't alive. If I actually saw that, I would have played differently. I was just trying to get this group alive, but I should have noticed, I definitely should have noticed that like I could play here, I could also play here, and the thing is it would actually be Gote for black to do that. It would actually be Gote for black to do something like that. Actually, I would just connect up here. And if you do that, then this is not alive. So I should have recognized that at first. Should have recognized that right off the bat. But I didn't recognize that, of course, unfortunately. So we did a lot of dumb moves. Eventually, yeah, this does work, but of course, this is actually okay for white. It is actually like a big loss for white. I didn't actually realize I was still ahead here, but like this is actually a pretty big loss for white, but it's okay because white actually gets to destroy a lot of black territory. And yeah, this was bigger than the corner thing. This is definitely bigger than the corner. So you do this, I do this, and basically we solidify our territories. But yeah, this is like a 6-7 point loss for white, exchanging these two for this in here. Then I do this. I do that. I do that. That doesn't make any sense. Just connect here and I have to retreat. And then you probably want to fix this. That gets me more points. This is a really, really big move here. But I kind of forgot this was still connected. So I did get rid of some points there. Like this is overall favors white because white got rid of the 4 points for free. But I kind of forgot this was connected. Otherwise it would have been all dead. Just make sure that this is Sente and alive. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that. You definitely should fix this at this point. So, like, this is Gote, because this is already alive. There's nothing you can do here. So this is probably, I'm not going to do this. I have to, if I'm going to fix, I'm going to do this. So the thing is, like, there's not much difference between me doing this now and then me taking Sente and then doing this later. So that's not going to get a response. So I'm just going to go here. And what you want to do is you basically just want to do that. You basically just want to do this and live. Because what you're doing here is you're completely giving up these stones. Also, I should have probably just connected this. Because this is obviously dead. But then again, like, you would be able to do this, and I would have to fight this Ko, which I don't really want to do. So I was actually looking for a Sente way to actually just kill those stones. So that's why I went ahead and did this. You can still fight this ko, and in fact, that's probably what you should do at this point, which is fight this ko. And we would be fighting this ko. But like taking this is a pretty big mistake because it lets me heal this. Letting me connect here is a big mistake because then you just traded the center territory for like the 15 points down here. I'm going to clamp down here, obviously. Get these advantages, but that's another 10 plus 10 points for me. And that's the last mistake of the game. I was already ahead by then. I just didn't count right. But these like little endgame intricacies you do have to watch out for. But you know, the main mistake that Black made, was not realizing like, I mean, first of all, it was a mistake here, but like not realizing like how many disparate groups I had, and like and the fact that like, you know, the fact that you really didn't take the chance. I mean, you gave me too much down here, but you didn't really take the chance to attack my separate groups when you actually had the ability to over here. You know, at this point, like, you know, at this point, I think fixing this instead of trying to attack this up here, I feel like I think Black just needs a little bit more like directional sense in the game of like how to attack and where to attack at this point. And realizing where you're strong and where you're weak. Like you're really strong down here. I'm not that strong up here. There's a lot of like little things, obviously. There's obviously a lot of little things, but you know, like a lot of the big stuff, like this move is just really bad. This move is very bad because it allows me to solidify my shape up here, and there's not enough territory for you. So like the territory influential trade-off is like a very, very big point later on in Go. Like I honestly could have just, after that I could have just done, or I could have just done this first. And if you actually didn't do that, I could just come down here. So moves like this are going to be very, very damaging. So like, you know, just like some moves that are good, some moves that are bad, and like trades and different ways to Atari. So I'm going to play another game. Going to wait for someone to accept my challenge. So I'll wait for about 10 minutes for someone to accept my challenge. So it's a lot of little things in the first game, but also like, you know, knowing how to choose, like how to divide two groups and attack two groups and not letting people actually connect. I mean, there are a lot of interesting, like you can go study the game back yourself. There's a lot of interesting mechanics that I actually did use in that game to eventually pull ahead. But a lot of it is like not forcing the enemy like the right way and kind of like giving up on the attack for like 1 or 2 points. Because that's definitely going to cost you a lot. Is anyone else streaming? I sometimes watch Colossus stream, and I also watch Derwin stream. Sometimes. I just like to see how they actually teach. All right, I'm going to wait until like 4:10 down here. Someone can accept my match. It's 5 to 12Q. Eventually, I might move it up to 4 to 12Q. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move up to 4 to 12Q, but with 4Q, I don't think I'm going to give 2 stones. I think I would just play evenly. I might well give 2 stones. It doesn't really matter, I guess. Let's actually move this up to 4 to 12Q. Because I do need to expand my range. I'm actually going to do, like, since I'm playing handicap now, I'll go 4 to 14. That gives a much bigger range of people that can actually accept my challenge. If I do 4 to 14, then it gives a much bigger range. And the thing is, since like I used to not want to play below 12 because I was playing even, and below 12 even games don't really make any sense. But if I can give like handicap 6, handicap 7, then it actually like becomes a little bit more interesting to watch. And also, like, there's more to learn. So since I adopted handicap, it'll work. If I give a 4Q 2 stones, it's actually very challenging for me because I'm not a very good handicap player for one. And like it's getting to that level where I just don't feel that comfortable giving a handicap, but I'll go for it. Realistically, like based on the rank, six Q should be handicap 5, but there's no way I could actually win with handicap 5 giving a 6Q. The advantage is too great.
Game started.
All right, so 13Q. We're going to give a 6 stone handicap. So I do like
Pass.
I do like giving handicap this way because it allows for variation in the handicap.
Pass.
A lot of people will just take the traditional handicaps,
Pass.
right? A lot of people will just take the traditional
Pass.
handicaps. But some people,
Pass.
like, eventually some people might do something like this. So he's thinking about where he's going to take the next handicap. This is probably black plus like close to 60 right now. But let's see what I can do with this. Usually, like, obviously against 13Q, it used to be like a 9 stone handicap, but like I said, I'm not really that great with a 9 stone handicap. And the thing is, for people that have actually been watching me a lot, they know how to play this Joseki. So just by them knowing my common Josekis takes away a lot of my advantage. Because usually at 13Q, someone would screw up this Joseki really bad. Like, they would screw up this Joseki really bad, and I would already get, okay, he just screwed up the Joseki pretty bad, never mind. This is a good shape right now because, actually, no, I should have just connected, but whatever. But it does actually allow me to come out here in the corner later on. I should have just probably connected. A lot of people do use it. So this particular corner, something like this is actually a ko. If you're going to protect the corner, do one knight's move and then c5 instead. Like I said, I've actually done. That's actually another variation of the of that move is fine. That's another variation of the Joseki. Usually you just connect here because if you don't connect here and I do this, like I have the Sente Atari later. So that's why you would connect here. If you connect here and I do this, then the Atari isn't. There's no Atari here. Things like this are important. So like that, like the mistakes here probably get rid of like half a stone of handicap advantage. I don't think I would have actually answered this, but we'll see. What is big right now? So usually I wouldn't do this because at this point, generally black would not answer this move. He did, so I'm going to attack. A lot of times in handicap games, like especially DDK, they'll always answer this. But generally, like when white Atari's here, black would actually not answer at all. And in fact, he would actually take a 2 space jump this way or something. Because this is decently big, but it's not that big. Taking a 2 space, see like that, I'm just not going to answer. I've already got my advantages there. I'm not really trying to kill this group right now because it's actually quite hard to kill that group. There is the ko here in the corner. I'm actually going to attach here and see what he actually does. Usually I would just approach if he didn't have like 6 extra stones on the board. If he didn't have 6 extra stones on the board, I would most definitely just take the approach. Because that's the most sensible thing to do. I'm actually not very good at dealing with this crap myself. I actually take a lot of disadvantages. I do believe that is actually the right move, though. I'm alive here for sure, but I have to give him a lot of outside influence in order to actually live. The correct move here is probably Tiger's Mouth, or maybe even extend down. Yeah, you just, here you would just block. I'm just going to keep crawling because it is a lot of points here. There is influence here, but there's not any points in the bottom as long as you give me that. So I'm going to come here. When you're playing handicap, it is just a lot of forcing moves a lot of the time. Coming here is probably bigger, though. I will say that. Double pincer. Usually you would just jump. I want this double pincer because this shape requires some reinforcements as well. You know, if I was black, I might just play d7 instead. That's not a good move. I might actually just play d7 instead. If I connect, he doesn't have that many options. I might just actually play d7 instead of this move, and then let white take this stone, but actually like create this moyo instead. That actually might be more worth it for black. Especially in like in this kind of handicap game where you have so much influence over here already. Make use of that influence. It's okay to sacrifice the stone if you get this big moyo and you get a lot of territory here. By the way, I can see people's chat, so that's an interesting move. Usually I wouldn't do this, but whatever. Actually, that's not that bad of an idea. I'm not really under threat anymore, so I can basically do whatever. That's the correct move. I'm going to do this. This is not a great idea for the most part, I will say. But it's more of like, how does he respond? There's no way he can completely seal me in. I don't think there is anyways. And plus he's kind of weak down here. I could go this way, but this is really, really risky. Now, none of the other crap works, so I'm not going to do that. No. That is very bad. You can't let me come out here. I mean, this isn't dead, but he's in a very bad position right now. I mean, black's still ahead, sure, but he's in a pretty bad position right now. Yeah, see, this is where this just doesn't work. Like, once I'm out, I can just go ahead and kill this. If he doesn't make a move there. It's also not the right move. I don't actually, I think I would just jump at this point. You don't, like, at this point, you don't really want to attach yourself to white. The more you attach yourself to white, the more moves he's going to be able to form this wall, and the weaker your thing's going to get down here. See, right now, I'm just going to go ahead and kill this. Because that's a lot of points there. And realistically, like, this is still very bad for him, because I can just keep jumping down. Now, he has the option to try to make this Moyo territory over here, but he's going to be sacrificing way, way too much. I am actually just going to connect here. It gives me a lot more options. I'm no longer fighting. I'm actually no longer fighting to kill this. This is already dead. But I'm eyeing the rest of this corner right here now. I don't think I can have anything in here anymore. But I'm just going to take advantage of this first. That's right. I know he has this here, but I can just connect. I can just connect that. It's not a big deal. He does have to connect this. Yes. Don't advocate that way. I think you just connect. I'm going to jump out here. Now I'm trying to destroy this Moyo. At this point, I don't think black is ahead anymore because I have too much solid territory as white. And the Moyo's been ruined. So I don't think he's actually ahead anymore at this point. It's perfectly fine. That's really not that relevant. I can just come out. As long as he doesn't kill the corner group, I'm fine. I think something like this is basically ensuring the win at this point. Because you want to, at this point, you want to reduce his potential. And sometimes I would go here, but I don't want him to invade here. So I'm going to actually fix this right now. Because you see you have all this territory. And there's not a really good way for black to catch up at this point. So I would say at this point, you just try to ensure that you don't like make any mishaps. Now, I'm not afraid of moving here and having him invade because of the difference in playing strength, I don't think it would really matter all that much. But like for like an equal strength player, I would be afraid of this invasion because it separates me out in these two weak groups. And on an equal game, I would only take a 2-space jump and not a 3-space one. Going to connect this. This is not really that big right now, but I do want to sort of try to attack this group if he doesn't do something about this. Now, this group, I generally can't attack. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm also going to use this opportunity to fix any problems I have here. There's a problem with this right here. I'm going to jump out to make sure I have enough liberties here. Just going to make sure that doesn't work in the future. That is not a good move. It's kind of gote. It makes you like really weak here. So here I can just reduce the moyo. I mean, like, yeah, there's this, but there's not many points in here. So the thing is, like, right now you want moves that gain you solid territory. That's what you want right now. You want moves that gain you solid territory for either side. There's not much fighting left. There's not that much fighting left, so you want moves that gain you solid territory. Okay, so there is a problem with this, so we're just going to back off here. I think I might just play this as black, but I'm not really sure if this is alive or not. I think if I do this, he's in trouble. So he would have to give up these 3 or those 5 down there. See, that doesn't really help him. See, if I destroy his eye space, he can't do anything right now, is the problem. This group is not really under threat all that much. I still have options to come up here. And see, now I'm just going to do this. That's just making me stronger, so that doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, I can just go here. So even if he makes an eye here, I have the option to take the eye away down here. Because if he does that, I am just going to like easily solidify this right here. And he does not have an option to make an eye down here. So this is like dead. Now the obvious thing to do right now for black is to surround white's group here and see like if he has enough liberties to actually fight. But the thing is, if he goes in here, I'm just going to jump out. So he has a lot of issues trying to fight this. That's not going to matter. That just makes things worse for him because it gives me more of an eye shape. There's no 2 eyes in here. So like I said, like because this black shape has a ton of liberties, you would try to surround this white group and kill it. It's very hard to do, yes, but that's essentially your only option right now. Because right now you still don't have 2 eyes in here. Those are kind of like these are just more conceptual things. Like these are more conceptual things. I don't have 2 eyes in here. The other group over here is kind of weak. I can Atari this and then try to surround and kill it. It's a little too late because after you Hane this, you give me more eye space. And conceptually, conceptually, the point is that if white is allowed to have 2 eyes, white basically kills this group and wins the game. I mean, white's winning anyways, but like white would basically kill this group and win the game. So yeah. I'm alive. So being alive now, you would probably just do something like this, come up to reduce like these any possible points in here. I'm not saying that if he surrounded this group, he would have won. In all likelihood, he would have lost that fight, even if like our ranks were equal. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is like that's the only real option you have at that point. If he cuts here, I'm just going to go this way. Basically just reducing so he has as few points as possible. Now, technically, like something like Hane or a shoulder thing here is much bigger. I'll give you that. I should probably just connect because now he can do this, but I mean, it's not a big deal right now. So this is going to be bigger. There's not a great way to like destroy all these points in here, so that's just going to be a lot bigger. I don't really know what he's trying to do there. I mean, I guess there's some points in there, but it's hard to get. And if you wanted to get these points, you would actually Hane here. But it wouldn't work anyways, so this particular one wouldn't work. I don't think I can actually do anything here to him. I'm not going to bother with that. Just going to do this. You do have the option for this, but black can just Atari there. Now, there might be something else here. Would you look at that? Oh. I mean, I think... No, he didn't lose this. He should go here right now. Did I do this? No, it's a double Atari. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I don't think he can fix it anyways, because this exists. So he might have just lost it. So the correct move is to go here right now and live this group. Because this is a force. K6 is a forcing move. So if I try to block his eye, then he can just come in. Okay, he made that move. That's good. Here you would definitely just play... I think that's fine as well. I do have to watch out, though. I'm going to eventually do this, but I do have to watch out that he can possibly... he can possibly maybe beat me on liberties here later. I don't think he doesn't need to do that. But yeah, I'm just going to start taking these big moves just to secure myself. I'm eventually going to do this. That's fine. This deprives me of liberty, but if I can get this stone, that's great. If I can't get this stone and I get this instead, that's fine as well. 6. So that, I think that might actually be the wrong one to connect. This is a different point down here. That's very bad because this is expendable, but this is not. Because like now this corner group is dead. So this was critical for this corner group kind of staying alive. He can still do this though. Although, so if I was playing a regular game, I would just extend in here and try to kill off this group because I can always come down this way when he takes that. But right now I'm going to give him a chance to actually fix this. So what you do is you extend here and then you play f4. I don't know if that's actually that effective, but it should be good enough. Because if you extend here and I play this, you can... that's a ko for, you know... Okay, so like what I should do is I should play this ko. But I don't really want to play this ko right now. So remember, like here you would play b2 and then play f4. I'm just going to connect because I don't really want to fight this right now. If he does this now, I might just go here instead. I don't think you need to do that. And here the tiger's mouth is better because it gets you a little bit more territory. Generally, like Colossus is right, you want to connect instead of tiger's mouth because it leaves a lot out. But there are certain aspects in time where you want the tiger's mouth, obviously. This is also big because since I actually did that, I don't have to fill in all these liberties at the end. Just gonna go ahead and fill this in. Usually I wouldn't. I just do something out here. You don't need to do that. I'm gonna go ahead. Whatever. This is fine. This is already alive, so it doesn't really matter. You can just tiger's mouth. It's fine. This isn't a close game, so these small things probably don't matter as much. You can block. That's not really the right way to do this, but because now, like, since this group is actually alive, right? You don't need to worry about this group. You just need to block your territory. If this group wasn't alive, obviously that would be the right move. But since this group is alive, yeah, like now you get, now you should have just blocked, but but now you get this in Gote, whereas like if you just blocked and I had to connect, this would be Sente, And I can't really do anything to you because this group is still alive. So that gives me another option. I can push in here. I can push in here and fight the Ko. I don't really want to fight the Ko right now, but if I was behind, I would 100% fight the Ko. So this would give your opponent another chance to catch up. But since I'm ahead and I don't really want to fight the Ko right now because of time constraints, I'm actually going to just do that. Yeah, whether you want to fight this Ko or not depends on whether you're ahead or behind. If you're behind, you're going to lose anyway, so you might as well just fight the Ko. But if you're ahead, there's no point in risking it and fighting the Ko.
Yomi.
So there is a problem with me doing this. I'm going to see if you can see it. There's definitely a problem with me doing this. Actually, it might be Ko, and it might be hard for him, but there is definitely a problem for yeah. So Atari here, and then Atari here, definitely might have given me some problems. But since that thing's Ko, it would have been Ko. I should actually, like with GD, honestly, with like 13, 14Q, I'll probably try playing Handicap 9 next time. 6 is definitely not enough. I just don't really like playing Handicap. Right now you want to secure points, so this is a point, this is not a point. 6 is definitely not enough. Like, I just don't really like giving handicaps, but 6 is not enough for a DDK player generally. Like, not 13K. Maybe like 10Q, 5 or 6 would be, like 5 or 6 would be, well, this is dead, so there's no point in playing this. Because this is actually dead down here. I could have like not answered that because it's kind of dead. Oh, there's a point right there, and then there's a Ko right here, which I don't really want to fight. So like I could have won by a lot more in this game because like there was this over here. I could have taken this corner in exchange for just a couple of points down here. I could have opted to fight the Ko here, but I don't really have time today to do all those things. I don't really have time today to show all those things. And the other thing is, like, I'm already ahead by a lot. So since I'm already ahead by a lot, I don't need to do those things.
Pass. Game. Remove the dead stones.
Yeah, like definitely with 13, 14Q next time, I'm going to do like 8 or 9. 6, I don't really know how to play 8 or 9 though. It's just like, it just seems like there's so many stones already on the board that it would be really hard for me to win either way. But, you know, like looking at the mistakes, looking at the mistakes that he made, there's definitely like 8 or 9 of a difference between playing strength. I do believe like when you get into the DDKs,
You
like
have won.
I do believe when you get into the DDKs, that like AGA DDKs are generally a little stronger than OGS DDKs, but when you get into the upper Qs and the Dans, like OGS Dans are generally stronger than AGA Dans. They're probably around the same as EGF, maybe slightly weaker. So this is the handicap 6. This is fine. It doesn't really matter how you take it. A lot of people will take traditional, but doing this is perfectly fine. At a star point, a knight's move is better than a big knight's move for the most part. So once again, this Joseki. That's the Joseki, and then black would play here. Now, if you'd actually know this Joseki and you play it this way, that takes away a lot of my advantages because first of all, you don't make any mistakes, and second of all, you secure a lot of another corner, and obviously that's bad for white to trade evenly if he's actually playing a handicap game. So, see, like you start with you start with a 66 point advantage, right? This mistake loses you about 6 points. Also, if you want to secure the corner, do this instead. That's like if you do this, you can do this, but you have to retreat. At this point, white would be dead anyways. But if white had a better like outer covering, then if white had a better outer covering, then like this would actually present a lot of problems for black. But let's say you do this instead, and I do the same thing, right? This is a much safer bet because if white does this, is just dead. If white does this, then, well, white wouldn't do that, but like if white does that, you could just do this instead, and white would still be dead. So generally, if you want to secure the corner, the double knight's move is not good. A knight's move and a shoulder is much better. That's okay. This is better. The reason this is better is because if you do this and I do this, if you actually put doubles tiger's mouth, this is an Atari, whereas this, if I do this, you can kind of ignore me. This is not an Atari. There's no Atari there. So that's why just connecting there is a lot better. So this move, like I lost 5 points when I did this. So this move, black would definitely do something like this. This stone is not that big. This is one of those moves. This is actually one of those moves where I wouldn't do in a regular game because obviously like my opponent would see it and I would lose out on trading this for this. So like in a handicap game, a lot of these moves I'm just fishing for a reply. If you don't reply, then it's a disadvantage to me. But if you reply, it's a disadvantage to you. So at the DDK level, I'm pretty sure he's going to respond to this, so that's why I did it. Like if I was playing like 4 or 5Q, I probably wouldn't do this either. And that's just kind of like the mentality, the difference between like 13, 14Q and 4 and 5Q. So now I'm going to attack this, and then I'm going to take a 2 space just to base myself. If I really wanted to attack this, I could do this, but realistically, like this is pretty much alive, so there's no reason for me to actually do that. So I'm going to take the 2 space. That's too small right now. So like every time, like this is the beginning of the game, so every time you do a move that I don't respond to generally, you're going to lose about 5 points. So after about 10 of those moves, the game's going to be pretty even. That's not a good invasion. Usually I would just approach, or I would maybe even do this. I'm just testing to see if you know how to play here. And you did actually pretty well in this. I think here this might have been better. I mean, eventually I would... like this is alive. But look at all the thickness you've actually built here. You have a lot of territory potential here, and you have territory potential here. So this would actually not be a good invasion for white, even if he lives the corner. So this is... you definitely block this. This cut is not a good cut for white. This cut's definitely not a good cut for white. He has a weak group, and you don't, and black's group is fine. So you would definitely block this. Blocking this is huge because there's just territory over here now. Or if you don't block, there's just no territory over here. So I'm gonna get this and get that, and then come over here. Now, personally, I do actually think that this is probably bigger. And I think white should actually do this because if white does 3 space, black can invade here, and now you have white has a weak group here and a weak group here. So I do this first. I would probably just do this. You either do this as black or you do this as black. Blocking the points over here is pretty decent, and then obviously taking the initiative over here and forcing this group is pretty decent, because white might have to respond like this, and then you can come up here, and you can see there's a lot of points in here. So I counter pincer. I shouldn't do that. I should just jump. And the more stones I have over here, the more likely that this invasion will actually succeed. Yeah, that probably. So here I wouldn't even go over top. I would probably just do this. So you might be saying like, oh man, white gets all this territory, but look at the moyo you just built. And you can keep on going if you really want, because if you do this and white doesn't respond, then playing E11, D11 would be pretty deadly. And if white does respond, let's say white plays there, then you can play something like this, and this is really good territory. I mean, here you can just do that, right? So this is really good territory here. So, you know, like, yeah, you might, the stone might be quite a few points to sacrifice to white, but if you can get the rest of this territory, then it's worth it, at least, especially in a handicap game. I probably should have went this way. But regardless, like, this is a very bad move for white. And here you would either come here, or you would most likely cap. I mean, even doing this is better than jumping up here, because you always have options to run away if you really want to. But this is not a good move. I feel like this would probably be better, but this is not a good situation. You don't really want to ever be in this situation where you have to answer this kind of situation. This is not really that great of a move either. Connecting here is the right move. This probably is a better overall situation for white. Like, I think this is overall is a better situation for white. I mean, for black. Because, yeah, you gave up a lot here, but, you know, you still have a lot of potential for territory over here. You got to figure out a way to use this wall. Otherwise, you built this wall for nothing. Like, the whole point of building the influence is to use the influence later, whether to attack or to make points. So, if you're not going to use the influence, then you just wasted all these stones, right? So, I mean, that's kind of like a concept that you have to learn, that people have to learn. This is the right connection. It's better than this, because here, if you do this, I can do this and I can get back. So that's another reason why the tiger's mouth is better than just the regular connection here. I'm going to cut and extend this way. I did this way because you're more enveloped by me than I am enveloped by you. Because if you do this, you know, like, I can do this, and then go this way, I guess. If you do this, then I'm going to have more liberties than you. I mean, actually, if you do this, I'll probably just end up doing something like this. And I have more liberties than you. Envelop, I'm going to do that. Here, like, you either do this, or you just cover up. I actually would probably suggest this. Yes, you're generally going to lose these 4, but once again, you still have the outer influence. This, however, is not as good as it was, because now white has this stone here, and it's a little bit more tricky, but you can still do something like this and get a lot of outer territory. That's why it's still black plus 30.8 at this point. But the thing is that you're trying to rescue this, but you're destroying all this influence. And destroying this influence means, like, you built this wall for basically nothing. So you essentially wasted 6 stones for not getting much by doing this. So if you want to run these 3, you definitely want to jump. You need to be faster. Letting me just curl up the side is not a good idea. Of course, I'm going to just kill this. You don't do this because me having this extra stone weakens your bottom group. And you can't really cut me, so it doesn't make any sense. So here, like, this group's not under that much threat anymore. You want to solidify the bottom, either by doing that or by doing this. So you definitely want to solidify the bottom here. Doing this and letting me come down, it weakens your bottom significantly. That's fine. I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have done this instead. That would make a lot more sense for me. The sequence, I definitely did the sequencing wrong. You retreat and then I do this. I definitely did the sequencing wrong there. That's fine. You know, this at this point, like, white's already ahead because he's killed this and black doesn't have enough territory. And since I should not have done that, I should have just jumped out immediately. That's fine though. I jump out immediately. It's not so much threatening this as just breaking the moyo over here. So now, like, the influence from these stones is not worth anything. Once again, the wedge is a bad move. It just makes me stronger. And the thing is, if you don't wedge later, you can possibly do this, or even possibly do this later. But right now, since you wedge, you took all those options away. This is big, but it's Gote right now, so I don't know what you would do here, because I think if it were me, I would probably play this. Or I would just not play here at all and just do this. Because that's a big move. I mean, you're essentially running this group, and I think it's okay right now that you run this group. But every time you run this group, you're also, like, pushing me into your possible territory. So I played this, right? Taking the shape of this right now, you should definitely invade. So separate me into two, like, weak groups. And if I am actually willing to do something like this, it's definitely you know, a win for black, a huge win for black getting that. So that should be the right move there. You do this. I'm just gonna fix this because I was thinking about doing this, but if you do this, you still separate me into two weak groups, and that's just not a good play. So I went ahead and fixed this territory. You played here, that's fine. I connected. Like right now, I'm just kind of like fixing any faults that I might actually have. See, like these moves don't really get black anything. There's no territory to be gained. I'm going to, I mean, I should have probably done, I should have played somewhere else or maybe even done this, but thing is, like, I'm a little bit afraid of like this move, so I decided to just be safe here and do that. Once again, the wedge is a bad move because look at this. Now this is weak and you have to spend another move fixing it. You have to spend another move fixing it now. Whereas like if I do this, it's your turn and you can easily just do this. Now once you wedge, it's now my turn. So you lost another stone there in terms of like initiative. This is bad. If you kind of have to fix this. I mean, it's this thing's alive down here, but you should probably fix this anyways. Especially at 12Q, you should definitely fix this. Like once you get a higher rank, like you can say that, yeah, if you wedge there, I can come down here and maybe, make some eyes, but you should definitely fix this. So I didn't go ahead and kill by doing this because there's this move here. So I fixed this outer wall first. That's going to be a horrible move. Like, this is in danger right now, so you would probably either do this. And try to, like, live, or, do this and try to live or something. Although this would be kind of difficult, honestly. Once I fix this, like, I feel like this would probably be the right move. It would be difficult for me to kill you here. Because if I took this, you can go this way. So obviously, like when you do that and I do this, this group's essentially. The thing is, like, I still think you can do this, but maybe it won't help now. You might be able to. I don't know. That wouldn't work, but then you kind of have this, and it is kind of complicated. I don't know how you could live down here, actually. I think, like, once you do this move, you're pretty much dead. So yeah, like, fixing this cut is pretty crucial. And here's the thing. Once you do that, once you're in this situation, right, you would probably want to play something like this in an attempt to kill white. Now, killing white here most likely would not work. Killing white here would most likely not work because he has many, many ways to actually get out. It actually might work. Yeah, you can just do this. He has many ways to get out, but you have to give it a shot. You can't place at this point. At this point, you can't just play something like this because this does not improve your eye space, but it infinitely improves white's eye space. This is basically alive for white right now. So by doing that, you just killed yourself again. You just kind of like let your group die, and there's no way you're going to win if you don't let this group die. So that's going to be the review for today. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Hopefully I will be back tomorrow, and I will see you guys later.